my name is Tracy Cole, and I help, I train, I support and teach equestrians in all things mindset and mental strength, mental toughness, so they really can ride the way they know they can. I'd like to talk today a little bit about how our thoughts are major influencers. Now, I know that they influence our own emotions, our own actions, and that to change them would therefore change your emotions, change your actions. But did you know your thoughts also influence others, including your horse? Now, talking to riders about this, you're often talking to the converted, because we know that our emotions affect the emotions of the horse, and we can do that in positive or negative ways. And you can see some fabulous training videos where people have got horses in round pens or maybe in schools, and they are loose schooling them, and they are not needing to use a whip or anything like that. They are doing it with their own energy. So they bring their own energy up, and the horse goes a little bit faster, uses a faster gait, will bring the energy down. You can see the horse start to slow down. There's some fabulous videos on YouTube from Paul Hunting if you're interested in looking at this kind of thing. So we know how our own emotions do affect the horses, and we're going to talk today about not just the emotions but your thoughts. So the first thing I'm going to tell you a little bit about is how our thoughts are actually having an influence on ourselves, and then I'll talk about how it reaches wider. So first of all, let's par everything back and think about ourselves and our nervous system, whereby where two nerves meet, you have a gap between the nerves, and the electrical impulse comes along one nerve, and then it has to go across the gap to get into the other nerve. Now, what gets the impulse across the gap is a substance called neurotransmitter, and there are many neurotransmitters, and these are chemical signals. Now, it was always thought that these were just found in the brain, and neuroscientists at that time thought that was wonderful, and that was very logical. And then it was thought, well, actually they belong and they can be found in lots of other parts of the nervous system. But actually studies have shown that, for example, the immune cells are bathed as well in this neurotransmitter substance. And it's said that the immune system eavesdrops on your thoughts. So the thoughts that you have produce a certain set of neurotransmitters, which in turn affect not just the nerve cells, but the immune cells. And this kind of makes logical sense. We know about this from everyday experiences, because we know that when you're feeling stressed or you're feeling down or a bit depleted of resources, then getting a common cold is so much easier, because your immune system's also been depressed. So that makes full sense. Now, not only the immune system cells, but also all the cells of the body have the potential to be bathed in this neurotransmitter. So you have a set of thoughts, the neurotransmitter is poured out, and this affects your whole body. And we know that your physiology, in other words, in NLP, physiology really means how you're sitting, how you're standing, how your face is, whether you're smiling, whether you're frowning, what kind of expression you've got. That can be affected by your mood. So just as a little trial, try this one. I want you to smile. Smile with your mouth and smile with your eyes, and be kind of, standing up or sitting up nice and tall, and say to yourself, I feel so terrible. I feel really bad, and I feel really depressed and low, and keep smiling. And you can't do it. You can say it, but it seems bizarre to say. It feels really strange, it really doesn't fit. And if you do the opposite and you kind of sit down and you slump and you look down and you say, I'm so happy. Again, there's a mismatch between the physiology and the thoughts. So, physiology is hugely connected with your thoughts, and you'll feel the power of your thoughts through your physiology. And then if you're feeling great and you're feeling it, then you're more likely to have positive actions and positive behaviours, and the opposite for the slump down and the low kind of thought patterns. Now that's how we get controlled, if you like, or influenced by our thoughts. But what about the fact that people like Carl Jung were able to suggest that we push our thoughts outside of ourselves? He called this perception is projection. And he said you could project quite unwittingly, quite automatically onto others. And we know that, again, if you think of a real life example, you think about going into a room where somebody has abruptly stopped an argument because you've walked in. You feel it. You may not have heard the conversation, but you feel it. You feel that atmosphere. And that's because they've been projecting on each other all this negativity, and it's kind of just, it's not specifically projecting, it's projected out there, and you've walked into it. And you can feel it, and you can feel the tension. Conversely, if you go to a lovely happy home that's nice and cosy and you feel really at home when you're there, you feel really happy, you feel comfortable. You know, we pick up on these things very easily. And as I say, this perception is projection, is the projection of our thoughts automatically. We don't have to think about it. It happens beyond our awareness, and we can push the thoughts out. Now, that's all well and good, whether we're influencing ourselves, our physiology, we're inadvertently or with absolute purpose pushing our thoughts onto others. How do we change our thoughts? How do we move them? So changing the program is easy. We need to get into contact with our unconscious mind. We need to communicate well with our unconscious mind. We need, if you like, a direct route in there. And lots of things will get you into your unconscious mind. You might like hypnosis or meditation, or some of the techniques that come from things like NLP. So we're going to try something now, just for a few moments, that will help you to communicate better with your unconscious mind. You'll have a direct line to your unconscious mind. I want you to choose a spot just above eye level. So you're just looking up rather than tilting your head back. And blink naturally and normally. No strain, total comfort. And keep focusing in on that spot and notice the colours and the textures, any light or shade. And then still staring or still looking in the same direction, loosen that focus a little bit so that it's not quite as focused, but now you can see maybe 15 centimetres either side of the spot. And then do the same again. Relax the focus a little bit, so maybe you're seeing 30 centimetres either side. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until you're 1 or 2 metres either side. And when you've gone as far as you think you can go a little bit further. Bring your eyes down now so that they are directly opposite you in eye level. Now this is quite a nice floaty kind of sensation. This is how to get into the zone. this is how to quieten your mind. Just stay in that nice state as long as you can. If you feel yourself coming out of it, push your vision wider. And what we're doing here as we're in this nice wide peripheral vision, we're in a state where it's a nice quirk of the human brain. You can't hold a negative thought and this wide vision at the same time. They're mutually exclusive. So if you do think of an issue or a challenge, you'll either find your vision comes in and you're focusing on it, or your vision stays wide and you can't really get in touch with that problem. A little bit like when we were doing the physiology and the thoughts, that they're not congruent, and so you can't feel it. So isn't that a nice way to be? And this brings your thinking right down. You've calmed yourself down a little bit. Your brain waves hopefully have calmed. If you want to come out of it now, you can do. But it's that nice meditative kind of state, at least a calm state, that will open the window to the unconscious mind. And once you can do the peripheral vision at will, you find that you can just calm yourself down. Now, I mentioned about communicating not only with yourself, in your own mind. I mentioned pushing your thoughts out involuntarily, automatically, using perception as projection. What about communication with a horse? Now, horses learn just like humans do, best when they're calm. So the normal waking, more alert state is called a beta brainwave. If you can bring your horse down a touch into alpha, by bringing yourself down a touch into alpha, then you're literally on the same wavelength and the horse will learn much more quickly. If you can get even deeper, if you really can stay in the wide peripheral vision, that daydreamy-like state, if you can allow yourself to let go of the thoughts and just park them just for now, come back to them later, and you really, really go down almost into a hypnotic kind of state, then you're in theta brainwaves. And if you can do that, horses love a bit of theta, and they feel even more relaxed. So we can get in touch not only with our own unconscious mind, but with theirs too. So we can communicate on a level that they learn quickly and easily, rather than that high alert state where they're learning maybe by fear, which isn't a pleasant way of learning and not an easy way to integrate and consolidate the learning. And so I hope that's helped you think about how your very thoughts can get passed on through your own body, influence your own physiology, your own behaviour, and that of others, including your horse. Take care for now, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.